You seem to have liked my previous video where I compared brands with super soft pastels like Schminke and Unison or Senneliers, and this is a continuation of that video, but I will be using them in one painting together. So before I begin, I just want to show you what I will be painting. I will paint this painting from this small reference painting I did a while ago, and this photograph I took myself. This is a good photograph for painting, but it does have some things we need to change. It's quite heavy on the right side, so I will try to balance that out, and I will also change the colors to more warmish. I will actually do sunsetty colors. For the sketch, I'm always using harder pastels. In this case, those are brands that I showed you before. And I will do an underpainting with them like I usually do. And then I will continue on with the super soft ones, but I won't use any of the super soft ones in the sketch. You may be wondering why I'm using the colors that I am. This is just a personal preference. You can put whatever colors you want on the underpainting, but keep in mind that some parts will show through the finished painting, and I just happen to like that reddish color and the blue I'm usually using, so that's the reason for it. And I think it looks particularly good when using green colors over the red. That's actually because the red because red is the complement of green. I also like using orange colors in the sky when I know I will be doing more like a sunset landscape, because it gives it a warm feeling. The main reason I do underpaintings is because I can save the tooth of the paper like this. If you are an experienced pastel painter, or if you just painted a few paintings, you probably noticed that after you put like 2 to 3 layers on the paper, the pastels don't stick that well on the paper anymore, and this is because the tooth of the paper has already filled in. And as I mentioned before in my videos on underpaintings, this is not true when doing the underpainting. The underpainting is done using a very strong alcohol, and it sets the color in the paper, so it's not on the paper anymore, but it sinks in it. So the paper is ready to take on new layers. Okay, so once the underpainting is dry, we can continue on with dry pastels. And I'm still using brands. I'm not using super soft ones yet, because I want to put some color down first. As I mentioned in my previous video, brands fill in a lot less of the paper than super soft ones, and we can layer a lot more layers using them. This is actually a soft one now. You can notice I'm using it very gently. I'm not pushing down on the paper, I'm just lightly glazing over it, so the paper picks up some of the pastel, but um, the underpainting is still showing through a lot. If I were to push down with it, because this is a soft one, We wouldn't see any underpainting because the soft ones are a lot more opaque when used with more pressure. This is again a super soft one. This one is from Jackson's. They have a new collection of pastels and I like them, and they are a bit more affordable, but you can only get them from them. Um, Jackson's Art is a store in the UK, so I'm not sure if you can get them from America, um, except for maybe a higher shipping rate. When doing the grasses, I'm constantly combining the soft ones with the harder ones. And I'm using this because soft ones lay on the color more easily and the colors um, look more vibrant. And I'm using the harder ones on that color to show some texture because they are harder, they make better lines. Now I'm layering on even lighter highlights because grass actually has it's very dark at the base and it has very light highlights. It might seem odd to use purples in the grasses, but under the grasses in the dirt there's actually a lot of purple colors, and as you can see, the purple goes quite well with green. As for blues, I'm just using them because I like the color blue. And it also have a great effect of making the things that are blue look like they are more in the shadows. And this is because we are using warm colors otherwise, so when we use a cold blue color, this looks like it's in the shadow. You probably know this, but I'm still mentioning this because I did get questions about it. Now I'm going to make everything look more like in the sunset, and the part close to where I'm painting, behind the distant trees, um, has a warmer spot, if you can notice, on the right side of those distant trees. And this is where I want the sun to be. So I should also make the parts that are closer to that part warmer, which I don't have yet, but I will be adding it now. This is where our brands are great. Using a very soft pastel over the drawn grass would have an effect that the grasses below wouldn't even show through. What I want to do is that I just want to shift the hue a bit more to the warm side. So this can easily be a shift with our brand. I'm using quite strong orangish color here, and the effect is very similar to glazing in oil painting. We still have the details we had before, we just have a slightly more orangish color, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm just using a light violet color just so I mute the blue color down a bit because it's too strong near the sunset colors, because the color should look more warm there. This is now mainly finished. I'm just adding some grasses in because I don't like the left part that much. But this is the finished painting. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or tutorial request, just write so in the comments.